Nothing screams summer like the biohazard and the live firing area beach. So magical. Nothing screams summertime happiness like this. Lana Del Rey said summertime sadness. This is summertime happiness. Just kidding, this is actually exposure therapy. I'm sitting at the beach filming with my camera out. Hi guys, my name is Mia and welcome to a get to know me video, except we're on the beach, it's summer, it's sunset, you can hear the waves. I'll show you the waves again at the end. Good time all around. I'm in San Diego right now. I go back home to start my senior year of college in about 3 days, which is crazy. So I wanted to do, I don't know, I was just kind of like, I was actually like out of video ideas and I was kind of bored and I wanted to be outside. So I'm gonna do a mix of like basic get to know me, but also answering your guys' questions that I never filmed a video for at the beginning of summer, and then I'm gonna mix it with like the get to know me tag from 7 years ago that YouTubers like Emma Chamberlain did. This should be so much fun for all of us, just me sitting here talking about myself. For those of you who don't know, my name's Mia. I am 22 years old. I'm about to be a senior at New York University. I major in film and television production. I feel like I'm doing an interview pitch right now. That is kind of how I got my following on YouTube, was doing college content. I'll start with some of the Emma Chamberlain tag. Where am I from? I'm kind of, I feel like a broken record, kind of from everywhere. That's what I started saying. My dad is in the Navy, so never lived in any state for more than 4 years. I was born in Hawaii on Oahu. That's where my mom grew up, and we lived there for 4 years, and then that's when my dad enlisted in the Navy, so like the timeline kind of worked out, so it's just really easy. I just like still haven't lived anywhere for more than 4 years. After Hawaii, I lived in New Orleans, Maryland, Texas, Virginia, California, and then I moved to New York. I spent a little bit of time in Wales when I was a baby. My dad is Welsh. I did a study abroad recently in Australia, so that was like 5 months if you want to count that. A little bit like US worldwide. My favorite color used to be green actually when I was little. My favorite color now is blue, although I think I wear a lot of like blacks and pinks. Really love those two right now, especially together. Star sign, I'm a Taurus. My birthday is May 11th, 2002. I am actually a triple Taurus. I used to work at Trader Joe's for like a year, and the people I worked with were super into astrology. So one of them read my chart, and apparently I'm a triple Taurus. Robert Pattinson also is, if that means anything to you. But yeah, those are my big three. Favorite music genre? This is hard. I listen to about anything except for country and K-pop. My favorite band is The Strokes, but it really depends on my mood. I would say it alternates a lot. I like a lot of indie alternative. My parents listen to a lot of rock music. But then, like, most of the time I'm probably just listening to the Hannah Montana the movie soundtrack, which very good time. I just got that on vinyl. I'm so excited. I'm gonna go to some of the questions that you guys have asked now. It was just like on my community tab. I asked you guys on my channel, going back to 3 months ago, what made you want to go to film school? I've always loved making art. When I was really little, my dream job was always to be an artist, like drawing, painting. Then when I was 10, I pitched this project to our school counselor about doing like a Christmas toy drive. She was like, okay, that's great, but make an actual presentation for me. And so I did. But this was the era when YouTube was first starting, and I loved American Girl dolls. And so I would always watch those, like they're called the AGSM, American Girl stop motions. I've put that on TikTok before, and then some of you commented, so we were raised the same way. Got my parents a little point and shoot, and I set up this little toy block on my bed, and I made a really crappy stop motion of my American Girl dolls for this presentation. And then eventually my dad finally let me post it to YouTube. So for a long time, actually, I was posting American Girl stop motions to YouTube. That's how I got into making film. And then later, like mid high school, I started posting on this channel. I started doing film summer camps throughout high school. I did an Apple camp in the mall with my brother when we were still in like middle school. Did like a drawing stop motion thing with a bunny in a circus then. And then I did New York Film Academy. No, Yeah, New York Film Academy in Los Angeles. They have a summer program that I only did the week one. We went to these classes during summer during the day, and then by the very end of it we had planned a little short film and we got to shoot on the Universal Studio backlot, which was insane, and that was so much fun. So that was like my first time really working with a crew per se. But yeah, that's how I got into making films. I really just like to make things. And I also think sometimes I can't really tell what I want with social media, because sometimes I really like to post and sometimes I don't want everything in my life to be shared. And I think it's just because I realize I really just like to make things. Like, I love filming videos, I love editing videos, and like thinking of different fun ways to make them. Film was just like another outlet that I found that I loved. That was a long story, that was a long rant. Advice for applying to film schools. I get so many DMs and emails about this even, so if I've never responded to you, I probably haven't seen it, or it's just so repetitive. I have several videos where I do NYU Q&As, or I have like one I think I did before my freshman year where I talked about my portfolio and stuff. When I go check out those. I think also after senior year when I graduate, I'm gonna do one massive NYU video just like talking about applying and my tips for dorms and classes and being there for 4 years, everything like that. So that'll come eventually, but I think my biggest tip right now to keep it short and sweet would be to look at the film school you want to apply for and like try, if you can, to make a film specifically for what they're asking for, because usually film schools, the portfolios will have specific requirements for time limits, or if you can have dialogue or no dialogue, all of these different things. They might have prompts, so I would say look into that. Write a little short film. I literally just had my family and friends act in it and I shot it all myself. Super easy. I think write a story that is interesting to you and that you would want to see and makes you excited, and don't try and do something that you think they want to see, because you're always going to do better when you're creating something that you want to make, and it's going to always turn out better and it's going to be easier for you to finish. So that would be my advice right now. Should I turn this? The sun is really shining through. Not to put pressure on you as you get closer to graduation, LOL, but I'm curious if you already have a career path in mind. What's the ideal outcome for you in the film industry? It's been really hard for me to plan things that I want, and even because I graduated high school class of 2020, and so I always had this plan of like going to film school straight after graduating and just like so textbook by the book. And then obviously COVID hit, and because all the schools went online, I ended up taking a gap year, which never in my entire life did I think I would do. That's when I went and I worked full-time at Trader Joe's and just like saved everything. I think that was a really big moment that made me realize that you can't quite plan everything, and so I try not to get my hopes up about specific things or get too attached to like what I want to do. Obviously I would love to direct narrative, scripted, live action feature films, or even stop motions in the future, but the path to getting there, who knows what that's gonna look like. So hopefully it starts with like a solid paid internship where I can learn and meet people, and then builds from there. I know a lot of people will try like their senior thesis to get it into big festivals like Sundance and be picked up by an agent or a company, and I think that would obviously be so wonderful, but I don't really want to hold on to that because I don't want the pressure of like achieving those things onto this film, as I'm only starting to write it now, and I think just that type of pressure is not fun for anyone working on the film. So long story short, hopefully I'll be in New York or California, wherever I can get a job. So whether that's in film or TV or who knows what, we don't know yet, but I'll keep you guys updated obviously. If you had to pick a major besides film, what would it be? I think I would do fashion. I think that would be so fun. Obviously I know nothing about it. Love the idea of designing clothes or even costuming. This last weekend I met one of the like producer heads of costuming for Disneyland in the Aulani Resort. He had worked there for 12 years, loved his job so much. It sounds so cool. They're already about to start physically building the Halloween costumes for their characters and everything for next year already. So it's like insane. I think that would be such a fun job. Postgrad New York or California. Bestie, whoever gives me a job. As someone who's going to NYU in the fall, oh my god, congrats. What advice do you have? I've been watching your channel for 2 years now. You've inspired me to chase after my dreams. This is so exciting. This is a really hard question because my freshman year was kind of all over the place. I feel like most people's are, because you're kind of trying to figure out everything. I would say obviously stay on top of classes and grades. Try your best to make friends and be social, and that doesn't have to be partying all the time. If you want, oh my god, I saw someone who I think is younger than me at NYU recently make like tips for freshmen at NYU, and one of them was to go to the welcome week parties. Do not pay for those stupid parties. They are literally such a waste of money, and nobody actually wants to go to them. I think everyone buys them because people are so desperate to meet people and go out, and then like everyone regrets it. I had my freshman year roommates bought tickets to almost every party, and they ended up selling some of them or just not going, because I only went to one. So bad. It's just like weird. You're gonna waste your money. That is advice I would give. Do not buy those. I met a lot of people just like hanging out in Washington Square Park at night. As you get later in the year, people won't be out there as much, but I think definitely like welcome week time, everyone's hanging around the park, trying to meet people. Just go up to people, like make a friend, go up with them to another group of people and being like, oh my god, are you guys at NYU? And they're gonna be like, oh my god, yes. I actually did meet a lot of my friends that I'm really close with now by doing that. Which parts of being a film major have been the most fun and most challenging? I think the most fun has been obviously making things and being around people who also want to make films so badly that we are sacrificing that paycheck to do that. Tell stories and make them come to life has been the most fun. Working with other people and seeing other people make really amazing things has been fun. The most challenging thing has been the pressure on myself, and kind of sometimes I think I know what other people want to see, and I think that's led me to making poor like film or creative or story decisions in the past, and I think I've hopefully for the most part I've moved on from that. But also comparing, especially to school like NYU for film, where it's super competitive. There are also a lot of industry nepo babies there. No hate, but like none of my family comes from the film industry, so I don't have any of those connections. So it's been a little bit of more of like a traditional route trying to break in. It's definitely very tricky to break in. I'm still trying to break in, even though I've had so many amazing opportunities. But obviously I know like sophomore and freshmen who have had internships at these huge name film production companies, and I think the comparison of being like, oh my god, everyone is so far ahead of me, and then being like, oh, I'm doing like these unpaid internships still, can be really hard, and that's definitely been the most challenging. But realizing that it's like everything will come in time and everything will happen when it's supposed to, so that's definitely been the hardest for me. Do you have any pets? I don't have any pets. We used to have fish. My mom doesn't like dogs or cats, so we have fish, and then they died, and then that was it. Favorite food? Korean food. My mom is half Korean, so we eat a lot of Korean food. Love it. What TV show could you binge watch over and over again? Okay, my brother Dylan introduced me to Friends for the first time when I was in high school, so I was really late to watching it, and I loved that. I actually used to rewatch it then afterwards, but now I think last year I was also really late to this too. I finally finished watching Gossip Girl every season. Loved it. The drama is so ridiculous, but like seeing New York, like that was so fun, so I would probably rewatch that. But I've been waiting until I move into my apartment for senior year to watch Sex and the City, because I've heard so many good things that I feel like this is gonna be such a Carrie Bradshaw senior year, so I'm really excited to watch that. Do you still miss Australia? The cohort that I went to Australia with, I didn't know anybody going to that. Acquainted with 2 people, barely, but my really close friend group ended up being 4 to 6 people, so it was really small for a long amount of time. I had such a great time, but kind of it felt the same thing as freshman year, when you're kind of just like placed somewhere and you have to figure everything out. It's a little bit crazy and a little bit messy, and so my friends and I talk about it a lot, where I think if I had gotten the chance to go back for another semester or like a year, then I think I would have really figured it out better and like had a really good time, because I love the beach and I don't think I quite figured out all of the like outdoor things that I could have done, or like places to travel. Yes, I do. It's very beautiful there, and I'm really lucky that I got to go. Oh my god, the sunset's coming in, the helicopter's coming in. How much does YouTube consume your time? This is a really good question. I don't even count it anymore because I made it to be out this like habit, but YouTube takes up a lot of my time. I am filming 1 to 2 videos every week, depending on how much I want to get ahead. Each video probably takes me around like 6 to 8 hours to finish, and I've realized that because I've like gotten really fast at editing. Sometimes 4 if I'm really lucky, but including thumbnail and everything, like definitely longer. It goes back to just really loving it, like loving making things, or else I don't think I can keep doing it. I will say, when it comes to traveling and keeping up with schoolwork, it can be so hard, and sometimes I want to stop, but I don't. So I don't know, it consumes a lot of my time, but I'm really grateful because it's given me lots of amazing opportunities. I get to share my short films and that process with more people, and then every year at NYU I just like get to meet more and more of you who come up to me and tell me about your experience like applying to Tisch and being in and how excited you are, and if you're in the same freshman hall that I was in. So it's really like, I'm really grateful and I don't regret it. How do you manage everything while being a full-time student? Faith, Trust, and Pixie does. It's so hard. I make lists every week on Notion for the, like what I have to do every day to get stuff done. I don't know, I just work a lot. I try and spread things out and like do a little bit of YouTube a day, a little bit of schoolwork a day, so I'm not doing one extreme or the other, but I don't know. Yeah, another one on advice on finding balance in college. I have found that the best way, like I just said, is to split things up. I was such a procrastinator freshman year, and that was the only time I ever pulled an all-nighter because I just waited to the last minute for a class because it was going on so much. So I think if you prioritize like getting work done during the week, then you can spend a little bit more time hanging out with friends and taking time for yourself and relaxing during the weekend. And can you recommend a digital camera to take some casual photos? I film on a Sony a6400, which is what I'm filming on right now. This is like the only digital camera I ever use. And then for film photos, I use my parents' old Olympus Infinity, which I've seen is really popular still. So that one's really quick, easy, but that one's actual film that you have to get developed. I'm gonna stop reading those ones, but those are the summer questions you guys asked me. So thank you to those of you who asked. Sorry it was so late. Hopefully you're seeing this eventually one day. I'm gonna do a couple more Emma Chamberlain ones really quick. Favorite drink? It depends on the mood. Either an iced coffee or lemonade. I love lemonade. Favorite snack? Recently, I've discovered I really love kiwis, but I also really love, oh my god, I know, I love ice cream. That's what it is. I eat so much ice cream. Favorite holiday? I feel like forever and always it will be Christmas, but I really love Halloween. There's something about the creepiness and the scary stories and dressing up and like the dark decorations. It's just so much fun. I love Halloween. I'm so excited. I love pumpkin stuff. Halloween's it's pretty up there. They're kind of battling right now. Favorite pastime? Laying at the beach and swimming. Favorite sport? I actually used to play like almost every single sport growing up because my parents made me, which I'm grateful for now, but I hated it then. I did soccer the longest through freshman year of high school, and then I quit. And then I went to art school, but I always think if I could do any winter Olympic sport, it would be ice skating. And then if I could do any summer one, it would be surfing. What is the last book you read? I just finished Crying in H Mart a couple weeks ago. That one did make me cry from the very beginning. That one was sad. That was good though. I started reading this weird book that I can't actually remember the name of, but I got it from the library. It was like in the teen section. I'm trying to do some research for my thesis film, and so I wanted to read a story that was like along the subject. I'm trying to figure out what app to use the most. Definitely TikTok, but non-social media technically, then Pinterest. Love Pinterest. What countries would you like to visit? I really want to go to Vietnam and Thailand. I really want to go to Egypt too. I would go anywhere. If you could give your younger self any advice, what would it be? To relax. I'm so stressed about everything all the time. I'm such a perfectionist. I have such big goals and dreams. I would say like relax and like have more fun. Tea or coffee? Coffee. I used to be an avid tea hater. It was kind of bad. I would go around telling people that like tea tasted like dusty library book, and I've grown. I love peppermint tea. Like that is I drink that at night. I don't drink caffeinated tea. If I'm having caffeine, it's gonna be coffee. How tall are you? I am 5'7". I almost didn't answer this because my sophomore year of college, or I think even junior year too, there were random people who love to comment on my TikToks and be like, oh my god, how tall are you? And then one time I was joking around with my friend Tara, and she commented a reply saying like, I think they're like 4'6", and the person was like, no way. So I kind of just refused to answer that on TikTok, but if you've watched this far, now you know. Cats or dogs? Dogs. I don't really know how to interact with them though, because like I didn't grow up with them. So if you ever bring a dog up to me, don't be surprised if I'm really awkward around it. Like please pretend like that's like, just don't say anything about that. What was your favorite and worst subject in high school? Favorite art. I went to a magnet high school because my first 2 years of high school was in Texas. Second 2 years I was in Virginia. I did a magnet art school where I did film there. So like probably one of those film classes, but generically definitely art. I did studio art my senior year. Least favorite subject in high school was chemistry. I hated that. That was like my hardest class to get a good grade in. Oh my god, I don't care about those stupid equations or those atoms. Like, I can remember that chart, but girl, what do you mean there? I just cannot. I just can't. What is your favorite animal? Baby sea turtles and dolphins. This one, what sports have you played? Okay, perfect. I've done ballet, I've done gymnastics, taekwondo, basketball, baseball, soccer, ice skating, track and field. I was never long distance. Favorite movie? I've realized recently, because I'm probably going to be asked it in one of my film classes in the fall when it's like first day of class, I'm definitely going to say Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Tim Burton, my favorite director. And then Porter, my youngest brother, and I watch that movie all the time. That's like our movie we watch together. I love the stop motion, I love the characters, I love the music, and I love Christmas and Halloween. It's the perfect combo. It kind of gets everything. Do I have siblings? I have 2 younger brothers. One of them just enlisted in the Navy. Dylan has literally been standing here the whole time because I didn't want to come to the beach alone and film because it's so awkward. So he's just been standing here. PC or Mac? Mac. Are you single or taken? We will never know. And that is how we're gonna end off this Q&A. Thank you guys for joining me in the Get to Know Me. Hopefully that was like the general synopsis. I feel like in some way, shape, or form I've answered everything. This was like a crazy, ridiculous long video. I feel like if you watched all the way through, now you know my secret. Not really secret. I do want to do, after I graduate, I'm going to do like a massive vlog of just talking everything NYU and college and film school and like all of that. Now you know, it will be there eventually. For the film questions, like NYU in general, I have lots of videos on that, so if you want to go look for that, I try and answer some, but like so many times it's so hard to answer, and because I feel like the answers are so in depth that it's just really tricky. This was a long vlog. What do you think they should comment if they watched all the way through? Okay, so you can comment whatever you want. If you watched all the way through, comment an animal emoji, any animal, and I will respond with either the turtle or the dolphin because those are my favorite animals. So that will be our little special secret if you made it all the way through. But as promised, here's the sunset, here's the beach. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys soon in New York.